COVID-19 has supplied a flawless confirmation of the truth that it is only in a crisis that you discover who you truly are. It has demonstrated to the rest of the world that societies based on the anarchy of the free market have seen two things: 1. Body counts that refute their right to boast of superior cultures and cultural values to their counterparts in the global south, and 2. The alarming traction of conspiracy theory and denial of, if not the virus itself, its seriousness and the public obligation to combat it. I'm referring to the United Kingdom and the United States as the polar opposites of neoliberal economics and ideals, which boil down to a belief in the purported benefits of individual selfishness and a rejection of the implicit malice of societal unity. Compare and contrast China's incredibly successful attempts to combat COVID-19 with the UK and US's shambolic and failing measures. At the time of writing, China had 4,636 deaths from 92,462 cases, the United Kingdom had 128,980 deaths from 5,602,321 cases, and the United States had 626,172 deaths from 35,213,594 cases. This massive difference is not by chance. It distinguishes between the state's social organization, planning, and directing potential and its near absolute absence thereof. It also illustrates beyond a shadow of a doubt that the cult of individualism prevalent in the United States and the United Kingdom translates into a worship of death in the event of a pandemic. Despite this, both the US and the UK have a thriving conspiracy theory business that dates back to 9/11. Its lifeblood is social media, and its basis is the grotesque denial of truth in favor of magical thinking when it comes to dealing with a world where crises are increasingly becoming the rule rather than the exception. You won't find such a rejection of reality in China, Cuba, Iran, Venezuela, or any other society where collectivism and social solidarity reign supreme, either culturally or politically. The crisis of late capitalism lies at the root of all the overlapping challenges that define our world, whether it's climate change, global poverty, geopolitics, terrorism, or religious extremism. It has sown dragon's fangs, and its morbid symptoms in recent years in the United States have included a Trump government embroiled in white supremacy and disorder, as well as Brexit in the United Kingdom. Both are reactionary far-right responses to the aforementioned late-stage free market capitalist crises and how it has ushered in a period of Western imperial and hegemonic decline. COVID has hastened this trend, with China emerging as the new economic and geopolitical player as it seeks to form mutually advantageous connections across the global south and beyond through its Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. Take a look at the Council on Foreign Relations' grudging acknowledgement of the importance of the BRI. One of the most enormous infrastructure projects ever envisioned is China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, often known as the New Silk Road. The huge collection of development and investment plans, launched in 2013 by President Xi Jinping, would reach from East Asia to Europe, considerably expanding China's economic and political clout. Even Western ideologues can no longer ignore the changing tectonic plates of global reach and power at the start of the third decade of the 21st century, despite the fact that they say it as if it's a terrible thing. And, for those in the West who are left-wing or progressive, this movement should be welcomed rather than resisted. Take, for example, Jude Woodward's statements from the U.S. versus China, Asia's New Cold War, Manchester, 2019, p. 255. In response to U.S. hard power, China offers investment, trade, and economic cooperation that can result in win-win growth and stability over the long run. While China strongly rejects any suggestion that it should take the place of the United States in claiming global leadership and denies that it is attempting to achieve regional hegemony, it does propose a rethinking of the international order and global governance, and is growing increasingly critical of the United States' obsession with how it can maintain its position as the world's preeminent power. When it comes to creating a sustainable future for the globe, COVID-19 has underlined the importance of interconnectedness and international cooperation, with isolation and insularity being the concurrent route to doom. The waning influence of Washington and London on the global arena, as well as the growing importance of Beijing, reflects this dynamic and has ushered in a perilous moment of transition between the old and the new. It is the task of all right-thinking people not to side with reaction, conspiracy theory madness, or those who would replace the symbols and iconography of national particularism for reality, just as it is the job of thinking people not to side with the executioners, according to Camus. While there are many reasons to be pessimistic about what passes for society in the United Kingdom and the United States, the onward march of China gives reason to believe that a global pandemic could lead to a reorganization of the world away from ecological, environmental, and free market perdition and towards something more akin to enhanced stability, sustainability, and cooperation. Until now, states' lack of democracy has been exploited as an excuse for imperialist aggression and intervention. The huge wealth and development disparity between the global North and the global South will continue to be justified on the basis of exceptionalism rather than rejected as the bastard child of Western colonialism and imperialism until we understand the problem as one of a lack of democracy between states rather than within states. When it comes to charting a future beyond COVID, imagining a world other than the one we presently live in has never been more important than it is now. China's expanded posture gives us a glimpse of the future, but Brexit and Trump are useless attempts to bring the past back to life.